Good day, everyone, and welcome to Active Citizens Parliament. Well done. Good morning, afternoon, and evening. Today again, we want to talk. And today's talk, we'll go share ideas of what is going on. We'll be talking more about the rottenness calculations for 2027. That is the Tinubu's grand chessboard. That's one of the areas we'll be diving into. But before we go into Chief Bola Tinubu's rottenness calculations for 2027, let's quickly look at the things that happened today, especially as it concerns His Excellency P2B, who happens to be in Lagos, UNILAG precisely. Let's take reactions that are coming from that event, because
the governor
said it and what transpired, and you can start imagining why is His Excellency P2B always in the midst of nursing homes, going to nursing schools, kind of motivating nurses in Nigeria, across Nigeria. I'm not just talking about in the south, in the north, just everywhere around Nigeria. He keeps donating. And the plans, what are they? But let's take the reaction coming from Mo, who seeks to show us some of what really transpired in Lagos today. He said, what a powerful and refreshing experience it was at the University of Lagos with Mr. P2B and the vibrant nursing students during the 28th NONSA Annual General Assembly. The energy in the room was electric, and the dame, empowering nurses, a catalyst for sustainable healthcare in Africa. He said, it wasn't just a topic, it was a call to action. The conversation was deep, honest, and necessary. Mr. P2B did not just speak, he connected. He highlighted something we must all pay attention to. Why is nursing such a critical profession not advancing at the same pace as its counterparts? Where is the legislative support? Where is the investment in those who carry so much of the health burden on our people? The students respond with sharp, thoughtful questions. I watched the light in their eyes. I felt their hunger to contribute, to lead, to change the system. And I thought, this is it. This is what gives me hope. These young people, the nurses, are the backbone of our future health, our health system. To every nursing student and young leader out there, don't wait for permission to lead. Own your space, demand more, create solutions. You are not just part of the system, you are the heartbeat of transformation. This moment at UNILAG wasn't just an event, it was a spark. And from that spark, I believe a fire will rise, a fire of reform, equity, and innovation in healthcare across Africa. Let's keep pushing, let's keep building, because the future is not something we enter. Well, I think Dr. Mo had explained it all. And he, of course, will be looking at more of this nursing thing with P2B. Maybe we'll get it. Now, let's look at the other issues about the questions arising from Kenneth Okonkwor's, being received by His Excellency P2B back to the Labour Party fold. I'm talking about whether you call it the function of the Nenade Usmans, because we saw that happen yesterday where they convert at Transcorp Hilton, and we know obviously before now Kenneth Okonkwor had denounced his participation and his being part of the Labour Party. He actually resigned But when we see the gathering of P2B, Labour Party, Dr. Oti and the rest, we see that Kenneth Okonkwor was there. So that got many obedience talking again. Questions were asked whether Kenneth Okonkwor is back with Labour Party. Is he had previously resigned, is he back? But I want to remind us to understand that Kenneth Okonkwor was very explicit about why he is leaving Labour Party and why he is no longer going to be a spokesperson for His Excellency P2B. It was very clear. I want us to just take a sound bite before we dive into the issue of Tinubu's grand chessboard, which is the ruthless calculations for 2027. Let's take a listen what he said before and when he had left the Labour Party. Let's take a glance and view at that before we continue.
Non-existent, because it's purporting to have a leadership that did not emanate from the people. I was the presidential spokesperson. I was not aware that we were doing a convention. So which convention brought the executive you're talking about? If Kick was not aware of a convention held, then you can imagine the ordinary Labour Party members. So as long as you are saying that there is a leadership under Abure, I put it to you that there is no leadership under Abure. So it's either there is a leadership under Nenadi Usman, or in my own opinion, there is no Labour Party. I have said it and I'm saying it. At any point in time, that by crook or by any way, Abure succeeds in establishing himself as national chairman, that is the day that I end everything about Labour Party for myself. I have said it and I'm saying it again.
You will leave the party?
I've already left. That's the issue. Once it is Abure. I said I am not a member of Labour Party under Abure. Julius Abure. So I've already left.
Will this impasse?
Yes.
I'm trying to think of any way it can be solved. My brain is not brilliant.
The only way it can be solved is for the courts to do the right thing.
Will the Labour
Party, not Labour Party.
Will you people get this thing together? Will this party be together and ready for 2027? Talk about, our conversation today was supposed to be about the role of opposition and how Labour Party can be providing the proper opposition, and of course we're watching the PDP and other parties as well. How can the Labour Party be providing proper opposition in our democracy if they don't have their house together? That and the fact that would they be together come 2027?
But now let me put it this way. It was not even Labour Party that said Abure is not the national chairman of Labour Party. It was INEC. INEC told the world that this man and his so-called executive did not organize a convention known to law. INEC is the supervisory body. And you're telling me one court said and one court, sorry, in the constitution, the court is not the supervisory body to political parties. INEC said it and they provided evidence. And the court told Abure, when Abure went to court, we don't have jurisdiction to entertain this case, meaning the decision of INEC stands. And when there is no leadership, according to INEC, what happens is that the people have gone to choose a caretaker committee to now organize the convention. It ought to be a very simple thing. But because the so-called executives must have been aligning themselves with the ruling party, in my own opinion, and that's why I said, you should not blame the ruling party. When somebody is now an outlaw, he goes to submit himself to the ruling party, and the ruling party will gladly welcome the person because they will now use him to destabilize the party. So what happened is that there are willing collaborators in Labour Party, led by the so-called executives, who have submitted themselves to APC for help. The ruling party.
Do you have any proof?
And they are being used.
Is there actual proof that these people? Do you have names?
Now, are you able to
point particular people who have done? Okay.
Before the purported convention, they were saying, ticket is reserved for P2B. Ticket is reserved for Oti. When INEC declared their seats vacant, and these people went and constituted a caretaker committee, what were they saying? No, the ticket is no longer reserved for anybody. The ticket is now reserved for APC. If it is no longer reserved for anybody, in my own opinion, it's as simple as that. Because you cannot approbate and reprobate. You cannot say you're reserving this ticket for this person when you were not having problem. Then you start having problem and you're saying you're abandoning the person. So who are you now liaising with? And then the court will give a judgment and put one sentence that is an abracadabra that nobody will understand. Imagine say a court saying, I'm hearing that the first time in my life as a lawyer. A court is saying this case is not justiciable. This case we don't have jurisdiction. But we are standing on the judgment of another case with different parties before the court. It's not done. So you have the hand of Esau and the voice of Jacob. And once there is no consistency, you will know that somebody is beating the drum, that people who are on the bank of the river are dancing.
I mean, it's a very shocking situation.
It is shocking. I knew we were going to get to this if we do not nip it in the bud. I told Abure then, go and conduct a convention known to law. If you win, so be it. I don't have any interest. I am not contesting for any post. I am simply looking for rule of law. I am simply looking for good governance in this country. And if we came to show Nigerians that we are the alternative that will produce the integrity they need, how can we, if our party is not doing well, how can we convince Nigerians? I am not the man that will sit down and start painting things the way they are, because it's good governance that took me to politics.
So guys, as you can see, Kenneth Okonkwor was received by His Excellency P.O., Alex Oti and the likes. They all convived and had a meeting. But then you will notice that Kenneth Okonkwor did not speak as usual. But there is something I want us to observe. From this video we just watched, you see that he was very clear that it is either Nenadi Usman's caretaker committee or no Labour Party. So he's still being there is because of what he said. So for those of you who are coming to my DM about this, my own position is that he is not like defecting back. He never even said he's going to any party in the first place. So he's still in the midst of their folks. And then the other people who are also coming to my DM about the issue that concerns the Anambra state election, I understand that the concern about PO originating from Anambra state and all of that. But there's something I pointed out in the morning time that I want us to understand. But you may not understand what Labour Party actually wanted in this very incoming election. But I do understand to an extent. They simply want to mark time. That is what I will call it. Because if you fail to plan to win, just know that your plan will fail. Gubernatorial election, even Edo own has shown us that it's not about the wave-induced election that we had in 2023, about the obedient movement, P2B and all of that. You don't go into a house of a strong man like Soludo with a weakling that they are positioning and they expect the strong man to capitulate. Rather, he will turn your weakling to a houseboy. That is what may happen. I mean, things can change. But let me say again that if this is the best that Labour Party in Anambra State can do, then let's be less assured that Apoga will wipe the political floor with LP. I don't want to talk about the APC because they also have a big shot, a strong man by Nicholas Ekachukwu. Well, Let's see how that plans out. So, but you go to the comment section instead of coming to my DM. Go to comment section, say how you feel about this. Now let's go to the main topic I want to discuss today, which has to do with Tinubu's grand chessboard, the ruthless calculations for 2027. Did you guys notice what happened with Sheikh Tinubu in Sokoto? If you guys has not seen that, let our producer show you a glimpse of what is going on. Did you also notice that the Edo State, the new Edo State governor, has declared that he has started campaign for 2027 for Chief Bola Tinubu? This is a governor who is, who said he's going to abide by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who knows the electoral law, but came out openly to say that he has started campaigning for 2027 for Tinubu. Then, for those of us on these very calculations, I want us to go to the comment section and as we start this discussion. The Tinubu-Wike alliance that is working for them in Rivers State right now, we can see the sole administrator appointing local government people, where Supreme Court said that that is unconstitutional. This Tinubu-Wike's alliance is not a political partnership. I want us to understand it, please. It is an unholy merger of ambition and ruthless pragmatism. Together, they have reduced Nigerian politics to a zero sum. Winner takes it all. A dangerous, short-sighted strategy that threatens democracy, economic stability, and national cohesion. But while Wike plays this game for relevance, that is what is happening right now. That is what he's doing. Tinubu is not doing that. Tinubu is operating at an entirely different level. His moves are not reactionary at all. They are premeditated, calculated. Look at what is happening everywhere. Unlike his political allies and opponents, Tinubu does not play for survival. We should know this by now. The obedient should know. Active citizens should know. He plays for absolute control. That is what we see happening with Sheikh Tinubu that I said. If you are seeing it, envisage it. Look at how the son of a president is being accorded the right of a president. Then we will ask the question, what is his end game? Very good question. Tinubu's end game. How does he intend to manipulate 2027? You guys are asking me this kind of question. You are asking how Tinubu wants to do it. What will it be? What will be the conscience for Nigeria? Well, this is not just a battle for power. It is a battle for the soul of Nigeria. And if history has taught us anything, it is that unchecked ambition often leads to self-destruction. Let's look at the trajectory, even in Nigeria. We said we condemn Nigeria Jaga during the time of Obasanjo. Then we enter Goodluck Jonathan. We battled protest. Then we enter Buhari. Everything just went back. And we keep saying that they did better. So that's what I'm talking about. Now, this Tinubu strategy is nothing but a blueprint for domination. Let us know this and start looking at the solutions. Tinubu's tactics are not about governance. They are about control. His strategic blueprint is built on economic subjugation, institutional capture, Even His Excellency Peter Obi has said it. And political infiltration. That is what is happening with PDP is dead. Too much fractions in LP and all of them. No one get power again. One. Now let's looking at the crashing the economy for absolute control. By deliberately devaluing the naira, removing subsidies recklessly, and imposing unbearable taxes, Tinubu has made every Nigerian dependent on his system for survival. Then go to share rice. Every time, anywhere where you hear, then go pack rice, go give people. Then go they rejoice. State governors, federal legislators, and private sector elites must now align with him or his financial union. That is what is happening. You must align with him. Now, let us look at installing loyalists across every arm of government. Is it the judiciary? They are under his grip. National Assembly reduced to a rubber stamp completely. Security agencies headed by his allies, orchestrating the systemic demolition of opposition parties everywhere in Nigeria. Are you talking about PDP destroyed from within through Wike and other defectors? Labour Party, no being with the talk, they are kept under constant pressure, while Peter Obi faces relentless sabotage. Do we talk about the NNPP? They are confined to Kanu State without any national structure. Now let's look at him mastering the electoral manipulation. We take the Edo State election as a test run. That is what he did. And he went to Edo and categorically said he's going to give it to Edo. That is a test run. A shameless demonstration of rigging that no serious president should even associate himself with. The 2027 election will not be a fair contest. Let's be clear. Let's be honest with ourselves and look at the way forward. It will be a battle of who controls the electoral umpire, the judiciary, the security apparatus, and you now look at weaponizing the River State crisis. By keeping Rivers in a permanent state of turmoil, Tinubu ensures that the state remains ripe for manipulation in 2027. Whether you doubt that is entirely up to you. Wike may think he is playing a master stroke, but it's just another pawn in the Tinubu's game. That is what he is. Clearly, Tinubu is not a political pawn, but his biggest miscalculation may lie in his overconfidence, in believing that Nigeria is incapable of resisting him. That will be his only biggest miscalculation. Now, the unfolding battle for Nigeria's future. This 2027 we are talking about, the election is already being shaped by political realignments, economic realities, and regional power shifts. But Tinubu is not an invisible as he thinks. He is not. So don't think that I am saying nothing can happen to Tinubu or nothing Nigerians cannot take action. No. Tinubu is not an invisible as he thinks. The northern revolt that we are seeing, there is a silent uprising. The economic destruction has alienated the northern masses, who now see him as the architect of their suffering and poverty. That is the revolt from the north. The north was patient with Buhari's failures, believing he was their own, but they do not see Tinubu as their own. Now, we look at the El-Rufai's SDP strategy as a potential time bomb. The former governor is a political genius with a history of organizing power blocks. I understand our resentment for him and what he stands for. If we look at Kashim Shettima's recent frustration signaling a deeper northern discontent that could translate into a full-blown rebellion against Tinubu in 2027. It is very possible. When I don't see Shetima go, they talk. Waiting and waiting, Shetima, they do. Anyway, the APC brand is beyond redemption in the north. Let's just get it. While PDP is a lifeless corpse, they are dead. But if El-Rufai orchestrates a new broad-based and serious coalition, Tinubu will face a formidable opponent from the very region that propelled him into this very power. Now, let's look at it from the south side. Okay, the Igbo factor is a political wild card. The Southeast is not playing Tinubu's game at all. Trust me. Unlike in the past, where politicians like Ojus Okalo, Rochas Okorocha could have used a political middleman, to do what they normally do, which will change dynamics. We look at the one of Soludo, Umahi. They are isolated figures, incapable of influencing Igbo voters. Let's be clear, as far as Tinubu is concerned. Governor Alex Oti is focusing on governance, not national politics, which, by the way, is the most responsible politics deserving for the Southeast circumstance in the current Nigerian reality. The Igbo masses remain overwhelmingly loyal to Nnamdi Kanu and Peter Obi, because they are still observing sit at home every Monday. That's why I mentioned him. Now, even if by another acrobatics the Southeast is deprived the next president in 2027, it will play a crucial role in deciding who wins. And Tinubu is not their choice. Trust me, Southeast will never take up Tinubu. Now, for the South-South, it's a battleground. It's an ultimate battleground. If there is any region Tinubu must win, it is the South-South. And that is why Rivers State is at war. Let us get that into our head. Wike believes he owns the South-South, but his grip is slipping. It's leaving him. Tinubu needs Rivers to remain unstable so he can manipulate the electoral process. The people of the South-South are beginning to see through the political deception, realizing that Wike is merely a pawn for a larger power grab. The question is, will the South-South resist, or will it be bought over once again? The real enemy is the Nigerian people's apathy. For all of Tinubu's calculations, his greatest weapon is not Wike, my brothers. Guys, it's not Wike. The judiciary or even the economy. It is the people's own indifference. Our own. Not caring what we can do from our communities, from our constituencies, from making sure that an electoral reform happens. Now, if Nigerians remain passive, Tinubu will win. I tell you, if Nigerians wait until 2027, the election will be rigged beyond reversal. And if Nigerians expect the judiciary to save their democracy like they expected them to do in 2023, they will be disappointed. Very, very disappointed. You'll be seeing the likes of Semani, all those judges who would abuse that time. The only way to stop this creeping autocracy is for Nigerians to act now. Wherever you are. Demand electoral reforms immediately from your communities. Let us push these our elected representatives and give them what they need to present at the National Assembly. Not after the rigging has taken place. We start talking about to resist suppression of free speech, opposition voices, a silenced people can never change their environment, and all that. We start engaging in active political participation, not just through voting, but through sustained civic action. Let us go back to drawing board. This is not just about Tinubu, it is about the survival of the Nigerian democracy. Now, a dangerous game with uncertain outcome is what we see for 2027. Tinubu is not a fool, no, my brothers. With the talk say that time, Baba will know well, they shatter me local, Baba will know well, they shatter me local. Okay. He never well, Abi. So what I'm saying is that Tinubu is not a fool. He's a grandmaster of political strategy. But his ultimate goal remains unknown. Whatever it is bound to be insidious. So what am I saying? His greatest mistake may be his deceptive, this nepotistic, exclusivist and arrogant strategy. Let me tell you, he's alienating the North. He is underestimating the Igbo factor. He is gambling with the South-South. He is pushing Nigerians to a breaking point. This is why ordinary Nigerians must demand accountability now. Starting with their constituency, push these legislators to do the needful amendment of the Electoral Act reform. They cannot afford to wait until 2027. We cannot. We can't wait till 2027. Let's be clear. When the game will be ready, already be rigged beyond reversal. If Nigerians fail to resist now, obedience, hear me. If Nigerians fail to resist now for this electoral reform that we are calling for, Tinubu's political experiment will succeed. You can say, God forbid. And democracy as we know it will be gone, finally, because it means that Sheyi Tinubu is coming. That is as much as I have for now. But go to the comment section. Tell me your thoughts on this. Do not think this has to do with promoting Tinubu. No, it is telling the reality. Nigerians must work towards 2027 starting from now. We must start demanding for accountability and transparency. I'm not talking from Tinubu. You can't get it. Demand it from your local representatives. Let them work towards electoral reform. And let's see what we achieve with that. Thank you so much for watching. Please go to comment section. Give us your thoughts. Until tomorrow when we come your way again. Bye for now.